Tester. This AC I felt dirty to even equip, not because it's so amazing, but because it's easily bottom tier. Let's start with the frame. It's the Tian Qiang set, which boasts some good AP and stability. That's the best thing I can say about this preset, and it is completely null and void anyway, due to the shitty boosters and generator, resulting in an unforgivably slow and clunky machine that is easily outmaneuvered by bipeds with even higher AP. The booster specs seem to have some standouts, but many of them don't even matter. The QB jet duration is high, but that's not actually a good thing, because it locks you into moving in one direction for too long. The low EN consumption isn't useful, because the generator's capacity is lower than my patience for this AC, and the core part does everything to fuck it all up as well. Even the FCS is pretty bad for the weaponry. And what is the weaponry? Well, we've got a burst assault rifle, not to be confused with a burst rifle. This gun is nothing special. The damage and impact output is subpar, the range is not good either, and the burst nature means many shots will get lost somewhere when an enemy reacts and dodges the attack. The burst rifle proper edges this weapon out in basically every way. Another new type of weapon is this active homing missile launcher. This one fires two slow, but quite powerful projectiles, not unlike the Coral counterpart. Their purpose is more so to elicit a reaction than directly damage the enemy. However, the AI is quite bad at actually dodging them, and they have an unexpectedly high hit rate for how easy they are to avoid. Still, you can't really expect them to hit. They can deal some damage, but it's a very unreliable weapon type, especially with how long it takes to actually lock on and travel the distance. You also desperately need to be at least in medium range, as otherwise they will fly into the ground trying to pursue the target. The final weapon, yes, there's only three, is the Pulse Blade. It's a very reliable punish melee with a single charged attack that's a bit more powerful. The boosters manage to fuck up even this one good thing about this AC, as they won't take you far during the melee attack, and they will take you there slowly. There isn't enough tools to stagger the enemy for the Pulse Blade to really shine. Despite this one good inclusion, don't think this preset is escaping my wrath. Remember, even Rummy has one good weapon. This one isn't as terrible, but you don't have to be as bad as Rummy to be among the worst. Hell, just give me assault armor, and I'd be staggering and pulse blading enemies left, right and center, but there is no expansion on this machine. Trainer. Looking at the specs of the frame and internals of this AC, it seems like this machine was built specifically to be as versatile and compromising as possible. Almost all of the sliders are near the middle of the gauge. Despite this, it doesn't feel bad. The booster really is enough to avoid most of the damage coming your way, and the AC doesn't feel frail either. Everything about it is just really decent. I have less good things to say about the weapons though. The Ludlow returns, and, combined with this linear rifle, can shred through weaker enemies. This weapon type fires slowly, but has very good range. There's also this charged attack, which takes very little time to charge, doesn't overheat the gun, and also only consumes one bullet. However, most of the impact it deals decays quickly, so it's only really useful as a punish. The problem is that simply unloading with both your weapons will provide a similar amount of damage, which is not very much. The third and final weapon is this light 4-cell missile launcher. It's not very powerful, but it reloads quickly, locks on near instantaneously, and the projectiles are very good at hitting things. Another dependable and versatile weapon. Everything about this AC screams dependable and versatile, but the lack of a dedicated punish weapon really sets it back in one important department: damage output. Just put a Pulse Blade in the empty slot, and you're good to go for 90% of what the game can throw at you. An expansion would probably go a long way as well. Mind Alpha. This was the first All-Mind AC to be constructed, with the ones previously discussed being further iterations. And it's a shame, as this is the best one in my opinion. The Mind Alpha frame boast the exact same internals, so not much is different, but the weapons are really good. The laser orbit is back, the most unremarkable one. The Javelin Alpha Bazooka is one of my favorite weapons in this game. The way it works is that it scatters many small explosions as it flies. It's very easy to hit things with and deals absolutely unprecedented damage. You can fire it just before an enemy is staggered so that further explosions can deal stagger damage. The Javelin Beta missile launcher is similar in that a single missile will fly along a horizontal arc, leaving an explosive trail as it does. The AI struggles to avoid this, and this attack deals a significant amount of both damage and impact. The final weapon is this plasma thrower, the Hammer. It's technically a melee weapon, but has far better range than most. It's got a charge attack, which does something. Not that I'd know, cause it's fucking impossible to hit anything with it. These three weapons are some of the most fun to use because of how unique and wacky they are. This weapon selection is very good for preset standards, but this AC lacks in crowd control. The only weapon that can fire moderately quickly is the laser orbit, and it's too weak to be a workhorse for taking on groups of MTs. Because the javelins fire so slowly, this AC is not excellent at building stagger to punish. Therefore, I'd swap out the orbit for some kinetic weapon, and add some expansion, such as pulse armor. This is on top of my other observations regarding the internals and frame.